We're going to start lying down on our backs and in a supported bridge pose. So if you do have a yoga block, feet to the floor, knees bent, lift your hips up and just put the block or whatever you have as a block underneath your pelvis. You just want to elevate your hips away from the mat. So if you've got towels or pillows or books, soup cans, which are good as blocks for other things, will probably be uncomfortable here, but you could do a thing with soup cans and then like a towel over it to soften. But ideally just something about a block's height to lift your pelvis away from the ground. Starting with the feet to the floor and the knees bent, arms down by your sides or open over your head might feel nice and more energizing. You can even hold opposite elbows above your head, creating a frame that you can cup the elbows away from the armpits and feel broad across the collarbones. Close the eyes, let your pelvis heavy into whatever it's propped up on. Let go of any tension in the jaw, maybe your lips slightly apart. Rib cage expanding and contracting like an accordion. Freeing up any tension in the muscles and the organs of your low back. Starting to make your exhales a little bit longer than your breath in. Letting go of the morning that you've had, letting go of the rest of your day to come. Just following your breath in and your breath out. If you have opposite elbows, you can switch your grip now. Hold the other forearm on top, just evening yourself out. And then if you want to change your legs, you can stay exactly as you are, or maybe you lift your knees up and lift your feet up and towards the sky like a supported shoulder stand. Or you can extend your two legs out onto the floor in front of you so that you're draping your whole body off over the block or over whatever you have underneath your pelvis. One more minute. Trying to time that with 10 long breaths. Cool air coming in through your nose and your throat. Warm air exiting out of the nose. Last 3 breaths. One more, inhale. Exhale, if your legs are anything but bent, rebend the knees and plant your feet. Extend the arms down by your sides, lift your hips up, and gently move your block out of the way, move whatever you have underneath you out of the way for a moment, arching your back to come down, so back bend to lower down, and then settle in here, making your feet wide and your knees to come close. One hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Feet wide, knees together. Feeling the frame of your back now completely grounded from your left butt to your right shoulder. From your right butt to your left shoulder. Taking in the temperatures and the textures, maybe after all of that lifting and releasing of the sacrum and of the pelvis and the low back. You might feel a little coolness or tingling sensation there as the muscles spread, the organs move. And then as you are, open your mouth and exhale completely out to empty. Seal your lips and inhale slowly from the belly up to the rib cage, up to the collarbones. Hold your breath at the top of your chest. Open your mouth and exhale again to let it go. Again, like that, inhale bottom to top, filling up all the way up. Rise, hold. Open mouth, exhale, release. And then one last time, deepest breath you've taken, filling up all the way to your full capacity. Hold your breath at the top of the chest. Grab a quick sip of air. 2 more. Open mouth, exhale. Let it go. Blink your eyes open. Lift your knees up and bring your feet closer into hips distance. So similar to how we started, the knees just up over the heels of your feet. And then lift the arms up over your head towards the ceiling, not to the ground behind you, but to the ceiling, exactly. And hold on to opposite elbows. Just pick one. Drive the elbow cups towards the sky, and then let your knees, as they are, drop over to the left. You might need to move your block out of the way. And drag your elbows over to the right. So it's a spinal twist, a supine twist, but you're actively dragging the elbows over your head to the right as your knees go over your head over your body to the left. Try to create space from your right armpit to your right hip, dragging that right thigh bone down towards the knee. One more inhale. And exhale. Inhale, come back up, knees up towards the ceiling, elbows up towards the ceiling. And then lift the arms up just to switch and hold opposite elbow, other forearm on top. Drag the knees over to the right and the elbows over to the left, gazing over your left shoulder. Actively pulling the elbows, letting the knees just drop where they naturally go. Creating space from left hip to left armpit. Descending your left thigh bone down towards the left knee. One more inhale. Stay for the exhale. Inhale, bring your elbows and your knees back up. Lift the arms up, take a stretch, lifting the bottom ribs away from your hips. And then find your block one more time, or whatever you can use to put in between your knees. You want to feel this active, or in between your thighs actually, a little lower. So right towards your pelvis. And you just want to use this to activate your legs as we work into the core. If you don't have something that's solid enough to squeeze, you can skip the block and just energize your own legs. But if you have the block or something you can put in between your inner thighs, do that. So starting with that, feet to the floor, knees bent. Inhale, squeeze the block actively with your legs. And then exhale, just lift your pelvis up off the ground. Just your sacrum lifts so that your hips are levitating like an inch away from the floor. And then just like this again, inhale, squeeze the blocks or squeeze your legs to one another. Exhale, lift the sacrum. A little higher. One more. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the sacrum. Inhale, squeeze the block. And then exhale, lower all the way back down. Now we're going to move the head up and get into the core more. So bring your hands behind your head. Scooping up the back of your skull. Elbows are going to stay wide the whole time. Inhale, squeeze the block with your legs. Exhale, lift your head up, lift your pelvis up an inch, elbows stay wide. Inhale, squeeze the block and stay. Exhale, lower everything back down, hips down, heads down. With the hips down, inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the hips up, lift the head up, elbows wide. Stay for an inhale, squeeze again. Exhale, lower back down. 3 more like that. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, hips lift, head lifts. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower down. Last 2, inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, hips up, head up. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower. 1 more, inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, hips up, head up. Stay for a breath in, lift the chin. Exhale, lower back down. Good. Stay for a moment, just with the block between your legs and your head and hips down, not squeezing, not actively doing much. You might have to squeeze a little bit just to hold the block there. This is a moment of rest. I'm going to do 1 more thing. Take another breath in. And then a breath out. Now we're going to lift the legs up into a tabletop. So if you have the block, keep it there. Lift your feet up, but keep your knees over your hips. There's a tendency to bring the knees into the chest too much when we get into this. So instead of doing that, try to keep your knees up at 90 over your hips. All right. Hands behind your head. Maybe switch to interlacing just for fun. Scooping up the back of your skull. Elbows are going to stay wide. Similar to before, but your hips stay down the whole time. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, just lift your head up and lift the shoulder blades up. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, lower your head and shoulders down. Again, inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift the head and shoulder blades up. Breathe in, squeeze the block. Breathe out, lower down. 3 more, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, lift. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower. Last 2, squeeze. Exhale, lift. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, lower. 1 more, breathe in, squeeze. Breathe out, lift. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower your head, lower your feet. Staying with the block. Moment of rest here. I don't know if I said that we were doing that 1 more thing, but we really have just 1 more thing now. Just get into the side obliques. Take another breath in. And a breath out. All right, feet up into tabletop. This is the last core thing we're going to do in the warm-up. Keep your knees up over your hips. Inhale, squeeze your block. This time, exhale, lift and turn to the left. Try to draw your right shoulder or right elbow to your left knee. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, lift, go over to the right, left elbow, right knee, breathe in. Squeeze, breathe out, lower down. Keep it going, inhale, squeeze. Exhale, up and over to the left. Breathe in, elbows wide. Breathe out, lower. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, up and over to the right. Stay for a breath in, squeeze the block. Exhale, lower down. 3 more each side. This is it, squeeze, breathe in. Breathe out, over to the left. Lift your left shoulder blade, breathe in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, squeeze the block. Exhale, over to the right. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower. Last 2 each side. Inhale. Exhale, over to the left. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, over to the right. Stay for a breath in. Exhale, lower. 1 sword each side. Breathe in, squeeze the block. Breathe out, up and over to the left. Elbows wide, inhale. Exhale, lower. Last time, last side, inhale. Exhale, over to the right. Breathe in. Breathe out. Lower your head. Lower your feet. Move your block. And then let the feet stay together and the knees drop wide for a moment in Baddha Konasana. We're not going to be here too long. You can put blocks underneath your knees if you feel like you definitely want the support there. But we're just going to sit here for like 3 breaths, just as a counter pose. You can use your hands on the tops of your thighs and press the thighs away from you, spreading again the muscles and the organs of the low back. 1 more inhale. And then exhale, extend your 2 legs out. Lift the arms up over your head. Stretch, stretch, stretch like you're just waking up for the day. Point your toes forward. Reach your fingertips back. Pull yourself apart. And then catch your knees into your chest. Give yourself a squeeze and rock side to side. Massaging through the sacrum, the low back. Maybe taking your knees around in circles one direction. And then the other direction. And then slide your hands behind your thighs and rock up and down your spine. Forward to a cross-legged seat, and then backwards immediately. Forward, cross the other shin on top, and then back. And just keep going, switching the crossed shin, ironing out your back. You might feel a nice little crack in. Switching the shin each time. Once more forward, once more backwards. This time forward, cross your ankles, plant your palms, and make your way into a tabletop. So palms underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips, a nice long neutral spine. Telescoping the crown of your head forward to the front of the room, and the tailbone back to the back. Yeah, just setting up onto all fours. And then press down to the tops of your feet so that all 10 toenails point down. And inhale, tilt the pelvis, drop the belly, and lift the chest, broadening the right collarbone right and the left collarbone left. Exhale, tuck your 10 toes underneath you as you press down through your finger pads and round the spine for cat. Again, inhale, point the toes. Initiate from the tail, drop the belly, lift the chest. Exhale, tuck the toes, drop the tailbone, lift your ribs, head down. And then keep moving like this, switching the feet each time. Inhale, point as you arch, cow. Exhale, tuck as you round for cat, like a Halloween cat, really exaggerate the ribs. And move on your own. This can be at any pace. You can go slowly as I am, really feeling the vertebrae stack like coins. Or you might move through it a little bit faster. If you want to build some of that energy that you already have for the day, you can go like this. Let go with the changing of the feet. It can be inhale, exhale, or in, out, arch, round, arch, round. If you have some frenetic energy and you want to capitalize on it and create a bit of a frenzy here, inhale, exhale. Almost moving through this like a kriya. In, out. Keeping your lips sealed. As fast as you want to go or as slow as you want to go. You've got 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Super slow it down. Wherever you are, go super slow. And take your head and hips around in circles. Still finding these cats and cows along the way, but it's through the lens of a sphere now. So that you're arching and rounding, but your butt goes up and right and down and left, and it hits all of the degrees. Moving through the full circumference of yourself. Switch the direction, circling counterclockwise if you were clockwise, or right if you were left. Just go the other way. That's it. One more. Good. And then back to neutral. Lock your hands about a palm print in front of you. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up into a plank pose. Yeah. Palms underneath your armpits. You're on the 10 toes, on the balls of your feet, with the heels of your feet kicked back and the crown of your head reaches forward. Try to keep the pelvis only as high as the head and the organ of your heart. Take one more breath in. Down dog on your breath out without changing where your hands or feet were. Just lift your hips up and back. And let this first dog move around. So you can bend one knee, drop the opposite heel. Shake your head, yes. Shake your head, no. You can lift a leg and shake it out. You can lift an arm like you're swimming to get up into your shoulder joint. Take some big choices in this first dog just to see how it feels in your body today without comparison to yesterday or deciding it needs to be anything other than it is. Just feel, take stock. And then a little bit more subtle, find stillness. Bending the knees, lifting your seat up, pressing down through your thumb mounds and your pointer fingers, wrapping the outer arms in to hollow out the armpits. Bottom ribs coming in towards your spine so they don't poke out too much. One more breath in. And then out, look forward and walk your feet forward to your hands. Forward folding at the top of your mat. Measure that your feet are 2 of your own fists apart. So actually bend the knees as much as you need to get 2 fists in between your legs and make sure your feet are that far from one another. Then hang heavy and you can hold opposite elbows. You can interlace your hands behind the nape of your neck. Anything you want to do that helps lower your upper body, lower your upper body over your lower body so that the belly makes contact with your thighs. Maybe your knees inch a little closer to your armpits. Again, releasing any tension in your face and your jaw. Switch your grip, whatever you have, or the forearm on top. Trying to make as much contact with yourself as you can. So bend the knees, lifting your seat up to drop your head down lower and fold yourself in half like origami. Three breaths. If there's just one pose for you to try and do every day, it could be this one. So powerful. Inhaling up the backs of your legs and exhales, fall down your spine and drip out your skull along with anything that distracts you, that holds you back, any negative thoughts, fears, worries, let them just fall out of the crown of your head. One more breath. And then elbows drop, hands drop, head is heavy, and slowly start to roll up to stand. Vertebra by vertebra, head will be last. Once you're up, roll your shoulders up, back and down. Landing tall, arms by your sides, palms facing forward. Thumbs back, pinkies a little forward and the rest of your hands. Broadening across the collarbones. Inhale, big sweep of your arms out and up. Gaze is up. Exhale, hinge at the hips and dive down to a fold. Palms to your 2 shins, half lift, look forward. Exhale, hands slide to the backs of your calves as you drop down again to fold. Inhale, rise. Big sweep of the arms all the way up. Exhale, palms into a prayer at the chest. Thumbs lifting your sternum up, palm to palm, collarbones broad. Inhale, prayer hands high. Exhale, hinge, dive down and fold. Inhale, calf lift. Exhale, hands to calves and drop back in. Once more, inhale, rise, Urdhva, lift the arms, lift the gaze. Exhale, palms into a prayer at the chest. Inhale, prayer, hands up. Exhale, fold it to the floor. This time, inhale, half lift, press bone of hand to bone of leg, look forward. And exhale, hands framing your feet, step your left foot back into a lunge. So you're in your first lunge with your right knee directly over your right heel. Yeah, and if you have a block, you can use it kind of like a ruler to measure so that you know that the right heel is directly underneath your right knee. Yeah, that's just for fun. And then lift up through the heel so that you're on the ball of your left foot only, and your left heel is like in a point shoe. So even more, lift that left heel, Cal. Yes, lift your left hamstring. Pull your right thigh bone back, look forward, take a breath in. And then exhale, step your right foot back to your downward facing dog, bending at the knees, tilting up the pelvis, lungs back, thighs back. Inhale, lift the heels, pull forward to a plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees, point your toes, bend the elbows, and dive your chest and chin down. So your knees, chest, chin look an inchworm, your butt's up. Elbows hug in. Lift the shoulders up, looking forward, drag your wrists back and find your first back bend. It's a baby cobra. Pressing down to the tops of your feet. Dragging the wrists back so you can pull your chest through. And keep the back of your neck nice and smooth. So notice if you're like a Pez dispenser and lifting the chin up too much, and just drop it down a little bit. Take one more breath in. Exhale, push back from a tabletop, tuck your toes, hips high, downward facing up. Inhale, lift your right leg. Kick through the heel and the arch of the foot. Press forward through your thumbs and your pointer fingers. Take one more breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, step your right foot through to your thumb, coming back to the low lunge you were in before. Lift the left heel, and then come up to high lunge. Reach the arms all the way up. Yes. Make sure you're still getting that right knee bent to 90. Lifting the left heel. Breathe one more inhale. Lift the bottom ribs up. Exhale, hands down and step it forward to the top of your mat. Left foot meeting the right foot, half lift. Inhale. Exhale, hands to your calves, drop back down to a fold. Inhale, rise, arms out and up. Exhale, hands to a prayer at your chest. Inhale, prayer lips. Exhale, fold it down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands frame your feet, lunge your right foot back. Now you're in your first lunge with your left knee at 90, so your left knee is directly over your heel. Hands framing your foot. Lift your right heel up. Pull your left thigh bone back in space, like you're trying to drop the thigh bone into the hip socket. Crown of the head is forward. Right hamstring is lifted. One more breath in. Down dog on the breath out. Step your left foot back, bend the knees, lift the hips up. Inhale, pull forward to a plank pose. Exhale, lower your knees down. And this time, bend the elbows and find chaturanga. Hugging the elbows in, only bend lowering enough to a 90-degree angle. Inhale, find a full cobra. Pointing the toes, tops of the feet down. Hands underneath your armpits, drag the wrists back. Exhale, tuck your toes, hips high, down facing dog. Lift your left foot up. Kicking up through the heel and the arch of the foot, press forward and down through your thumbs, ears in line with the biceps. Take a breath in. Exhale, knee to nose, lunge your foot through to your thumb. Find your setup, left knee is at 90, right heel is lifted. Squeeze the inner legs and come all the way up. Yeah. Bottom ribs lift, maybe gaze lifts. One breath in. Exhale, hands down and step your right foot to meet your left. Palms to your shins, half lift. Hands to your calves, drop down and fold. Inhale, rise, arms out and up. Exhale through a prayer, drop the hands down to your sides and reset into Tadasana. Collarbones broad, thumbs back, pinkies forward. Full breath in. Full breath out. Chair pose. Inhale, bend the knees, sit the butt low and touch the floor, sit that low. And then unhinge the arms up. Pinkies turn in, shoulders dropping down like they're pointing an arrow towards your tail. Scooping up the front of your pelvis and lengthening down the back. One more breath in. Fold to the floor and the breath out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down, step your left foot back. High lunge, lift the heel, arms up above your head. Breathe in. Breathe out, hands down, right foot behind you, down dog split, right leg in the air. Kick through the heel and the arch of the foot, press forward and down through the inner palms. One more breath in. Exhale, bend the knee and open up the hip. And let this move freely. Move through your hip, move through your knee, move through your ankle. Try to lift your left shoulder so that your left armpit is at the same level as your right. Make sure your left knee points forward. One more breath. Exhale, re-extend the right leg straight out from the hip, look forward, breathe in. Breathe out, knee to nose, step your foot through to your thumb, and come up for warrior two. So ground the left heel and cartwheel the arms up, back and around. Settling in, look at your own feet. Make sure that the heel of your right foot could draw a line in through to the center of your left. And then bend into your right knee a lot. Try to get that same 90-degree angle. Opening up the hips, you can track the thigh open to see your big toe in front of the knee. Bring more weight to your left foot. 3 more breaths, palms facing up so that the collarbones can broaden and you can really feel the shoulders point an arrow towards the tail. 1 more inhale. Sit a little more on the exhale. Inhale, straighten the right leg. Lift the right arm up and over your ear. Lifting to create space in your right side, but without crunching so much in your left. So try to create space in your left as much as the right. 1 more breath. Exhale, cartwheel the hands down to frame your foot. Spin up the left heel and twist this lunge. Right arm to the sky. Good, turn your left shoulder away from the ear. Lift your left hamstring. 1 more breath in. Exhale, right arm forward and down. Straighten the right leg and fold. Your hands can be on the floor. Your hands can find blocks. It's a pyramid pose, but you can keep the left heel lifted. In fact, try to lift it up higher than you normally do so that you're really, again, on the ball of your foot. You can bring your right thumb to your right thigh, to your right hip crease, and pull your right arm thigh back. Crown of the head reaches forward as you fold. Both legs are aiming to be straight, but your right leg might be super bent. 1 more inhale. Exhale, rebend the knee. Look forward, left foot meets right at the top of your mat. Half lift, inhale. Fold, exhale, hands to your calves. Chair pose, inhale, bend the knees, sit the butt low, touch the floor, hinge the arms high. Exhale, stand tall, palms into a prayer at your chest. Thumbs lift the sternum, press palm to palm, gazes forward. Lift your right knee up for tree pose. I'll show you from the front. Right knee is lifted. Butterfly the knee out to the side and then help yourself, placing your own sole of the right foot on the inside of your left leg. It could be above the knee, it could be below. It can also be like a kickstand on the floor. So wherever you feel the most steady. Palm to palm, foot to leg, thumbs starting at the chest, lifting the sternum up. Feeling your heart beat like electricity into the center of your palms. And then if you want to grow your branches or take them behind your back or whatever it is, go for it. Rooting down through your standing leg like a tree trunk, lifting up through the thigh. Your roots growing out of the crown of your head, settling your breath. Relax the eyebrows. 1 more inhale. Exhale, bring the hands back to a prayer at your chest from wherever you are. Guide your right knee forward. Kick your right foot forward. Lift the thigh. And then step it down to meet your left. Arms down by your sides, palms facing forward, broad collarbones. Chair pose. Inhale, bend the knees, sit the butt low, touch the floor, lift the arms. Squeeze the shins back, lift the navel, drop the tail. Exhale, hinge at the hips and dive to forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands down. Lunge your right foot back. Lift the heel up, lift the arms up. You're in high lunge on the left leg. Lift the bottom ribs, 1 more inhale. Exhale, hands down. Sweep your left leg behind you, down dog split. Kick through the heel and the arch of the foot, press down through your thumbnails, 1 breath in. Exhale, bend the knee, open up your hip and move through it. The hip joint, the knee joint, the ankle joint. Trying to lift the right armpit as you move through the left leg. Try to turn the right knee forward and keep space from your right hip to right shoulder here. 1 more breath in. Exhale, re-extend the left leg long, look forward, breathe in, bottom ribs in. Breathe out, knee to nose, step it through to your thumb, warrior 2. Ground the right heel, open up the arms, and settle. Yeah, right away, checking out your feet, starting with the lower body. Is your left knee bent enough? Are you bringing enough weight into your right foot? Tracking the left heel to the center of your right leg. Spiraling the hip open to see your big toe inside of the knee. And then 3 breaths, palms facing up, broad across the chest. Gazing watery focused eyes over your left hand, but but keeping your right leg just as strong as your right arm, just as strong, even though you can't see it. One breath in. Sit a little lower on the breath out. Inhale, straighten the leg, lift up, try to lift up and out of the waist, and then take the arm over your ear, creating space in your right side as much as your left. One more breath. Exhale, bend the knee, cartwheel your hands down to frame your foot. Spin up the right heel, twist your left arm. Stack shoulders and wrists. Turn your right shoulder away from the ear, lift the right hamstring. One breath in. Exhale, left arm forward and down, straightening the left leg to fold. Maybe putting your hands up on something. Wherever you are, lift your right heel super high. Pull your left hip back, maybe helping yourself out, putting your thumb in your hip crease, physically helping yourself out with this adjustment here. Left hip pulling back, left thigh bone going into the hip socket. And then even though you're fighting for a straight leg, your left knee might stay a little bent or a lot bent, but you're leading with the chest to dive down and fold. 3 breaths. One more. Inhale. Exhale, rebend the left knee. Look forward, feet together at the top of your mat, half lift, inhale. Hands to calves, exhale. Chair pose, inhale, bend the knees, hit the butt low, root the arms high. Exhale, stand tall, hands into a prayer at your chest, thumbs lifting your sternum. Lift your left knee up for tree. Butterfly the knee open, help yourself out, placing your left foot inside of the leg, above the knee, below the knee, kickstand, whatever works. Palm to start, and right away, bring your gaze somewhere that's level with your eyes, maybe even a little higher, so that you're not looking down, you're looking at your own horizon or above it. Then you can grow the branches of your arms or do whatever you did on the other side. Foot pressing into leg as the leg presses right back into the foot. Crown of the head, roof of the mouth lifting. Let go of any tension in the face so that your face looks expressionless. One more breath. Exhale, release the hands back to a prayer at your chest. Left knee forward, kick your left foot forward, and then drop your feet together, arms down by your sides. One last chair, bend the knees, hit the butt low, touch the floor, reach the arms high, breathe in. Fold to the floor on the breath out. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, plant the hands and then step or hop your feet back to down dog, bending the knees and lifting the sides of the waist up. Inhale, pull through to an up dog. Keep your toes tucked, thighs lifted. Drive the wrists back, collarbones broad. Exhale, hinge right up with the hips, downward facing dog. And then again, inhale, up dog. Kick through the heels, lift through the thighs. Exhale, down dog. And move forward and back like this with your own breath. Fast or slow, hinging and unhinging. Inhaling forward, exhaling backwards for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Next time you're forwards, stay forwards. Lower your knees, point your toes, bend the elbows, and then melt your pubic bone down, your belly button down, all the way down to the forehead, to the floor. Inhaling, find a baby cobra. Exhale, lower down, push back, child's pose. Feet together, knees wide. Forehead to the ground, just catching your breath here for a few moments, breathing into the backs of your lungs. Maybe a little forehead rocking side to side to massage through the temples. And then engaging the arms, 10 to your 10 fingertips, And lift your elbows away from the ground, crawling your arms away from your hips. Now lift your head and look forward in between your hands. Walk the arms over to the right, keeping your head lifted, keeping your gaze in the middle of your palms so that you're getting into the left side body. And feel your left hip pulling back away from your left armpit, your left wrist reaching away from your left armpit. One more inhale. Exhale, keep looking in between your palms, go over through center and to the left, carving your right outer hip back in space. Breathing to your right lungs, neck is long and unscrunched. One more breath in. Exhale, come back through center. Reach the arms forward, bend the elbows, plant your palms, and snake on through to another cobra, maybe a full cobra this time. Breathe in. Breathe out, tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Full breath in. Full breath out. One more inhale, look in between your hands. Bottom of your exhale, step or hop your feet wider than your hands and make your way into a Gomukhasana squat. Heels on the mat, toes spinning off of the mat. And if you want to, you can put a block underneath your pelvis. But if you have this with nothing, you don't want to use it, you don't have to. You can also put your pillows or towels or whatever you have there underneath you. That looks good. Thumbs at the center of your chest, lifting the sternum up, elbows pressing the knees out, and knees hug the elbows back in. So there's always this energy in opposition. That's it. One more inhale, just steady here. On the exhale, extend the right arm inside of the leg into the floor. Peel your left arm up in that position and lean back, like you're back bending over yourself. One breath in. Exhale, hands into a prayer at your chest. Thumbs lift the sternum up, breathe in. Breathe out, left arm inside of the leg on a diagonal, right arm peels up in that position. Try to keep the weight even in both feet, so you might need to bring more in your right heel. Back bend over yourself. One more inhale. Exhale, hands into a prayer at the chest. Take a breath in. Exhale, hands down, hips up. Keep your feet wide, but turn your 10 toes forward and let the head hang heavy. Move your block out of the way. You're going to use it again in a second. Find a little half lift, palms to your wide shins. Breathe in. Breathe out, hands down, and step your left foot back so you're in a really wide lunge. You're going to bring your hands inside of your right foot. Your right knee stays bent over the ankle, but it's wider than your two palms. And then you're going to come into lizard pose. So if you don't have any props and you want to just come down to your knees and your forearms, you can do that. If you want to use props, I'll show you a few options. You can take a block or blanket or towel and put it underneath your lifted left thigh, which builds a really nice little bit of scaffolding for you to stay here for a while. You can also use another block to come onto your elbows and be on your forearms here. So this way I'm supported, but I'm really getting into the hip well in a way that's sustainable, where I can breathe easily, where it doesn't feel like my hip is just splayed out. It's contained, it's controlled. Back of the neck is smooth. Just checking you guys out. Yeah. There's a little bit of a hugging action again of the knee into the arm so that it doesn't just drop out. You want to really press down into the ball of your right foot. 5 more breaths. One more, inhale. Exhale, coming out the way you came in, so press down to your palms. Move your blocks out of the way. Lift your left knee. And then step your right foot back to a side plank, grounding the heels and lifting your right arm up. So your right foot is on top of your left. Your right hip is on top of your left. You can always drop your left knee and shin down if you need some more support, or you can step your right foot in front of you if you'd rather that. Otherwise, right side over left. Hike your left hip up, wrap the top half of your left pelvis up, and then reach your right arm over your ear for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right hand down, downward facing dog, bending at the knees, tilting of the pelvis. Inhale, wave it through to up dog. Exhale, hinge it back, down dog. Look forward, inhale. Bottom of your exhale, separate off your feet wider than your hands. No need for a block this time, we're not here long. Thumbs lifting your sternum, elbows pressing the knees out, knees hugging the elbows in. Let there be this lift from the center of your spine, from the perineum. Like you're doing Kegels, lift up. For 3, 2, 1, hands down, hips up, 10 toes forward. Sway, shake, flutter, bounce. Palms to your shins, half lift. Exhale, hands down, lunge your right foot back, and find your wide lunge with your hands inside of your left foot. Your left knee is still bent at 90, but it's wider than your hands, and then you can turn your toes out a little bit if you want to. Either you can stay upright like this, maybe you're dropping down to your knees and your forearms, or use your blocks or whatever props you have. I'm gonna do the variation with the thigh lifted and the block underneath my knee. It's right above the knee, right on the thigh. So it's not on my knee, it's on the thigh. Yeah. And then the second block for the forearms. On the ball of the right foot, hugging the left knee into the armpit, back of the neck is nice and smooth. And this can be static, just letting the shape of the pose do the work for you. It's a big hip opener. Or maybe it's a little bit movement, moving fluidly, like a rocking forward or backward. Last 3 breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, press the palms down. Move your blocks out of the way. Make your way into an active lizard so that you're lifting the right knee. Take a breath in. And then exhale, go for it. Vashisthasana, your left foot steps back to stack on top of the right foot, lifting your left arm up. Option, of course, to drop your right knee and shin down, or to step your left foot forward. Give yourself the ground that you need. Otherwise, for 3 breaths, lift your hips up more, wrap the top half of your pelvis more, and then reach your left arm over your ear so that you're arcing your whole body like a banana away from the ground. One more breath in. Exhale, left hand down, look forward. Feet separate for your downward facing dog. Inhale, wave through to up dog. Exhale, hips back, downward dog. One more breath in. And then exhale, child's pose. Feet together, knees wide, arms reaching forward. For this one, bend the elbows, bring your hands into a prayer, and then drop your thumbs behind the neck, crawling the elbows forward more, just to get into the shoulders. We didn't do too much shoulder stuff, so to give them some love here. A nice little stretch. Feeling into the backs of your ribs, letting the hips settle. 3 breaths. One more inhale. And exhale, reach the arms forward. And then curl the hands back so that you can sit up on your shins. My knees are gonna stay a little wide. Reach the arms behind you, thumbs pointing wide, collarbones broaden, prop your chest up any amount. It's a little lift, a little back bend. Maybe it's this, maybe you're lifting your pelvis a little bit. Maybe you unfurl all the way into a big back bend. Keeping your head on your spine, meaning don't just let it drop where you can't breathe or talk. It's still stacked. And then back bend and sit down. Good. Bring the weight into one side and extend your two legs out in front of you. If you have a blanket or something that you want to sit on top of, I'm going to slide that underneath my seat right now. You want to lift your hips up on whatever you're sitting so that you tilt the pelvis forward. So I'm not just sitting on it like for comfort and still rounding the tail. I'm sitting right on the edge so that it's bringing me forward into where I want to go. So that I'm able to anchor down through the perineum, lift up through the pubic bone, and drop down through the sits bones. So starting with the left leg straight out in front of you. You're gonna bend the right knee and hug the shin in towards you. Good. And then we're gonna take it into a half Gomukhasana. So Gomukhasana, I'll show you from the front, is this pose. It's when you're stacking one knee on top of the other. So we're gonna just do half, which might look a lot more like this on some of you, but you're trying to aim for the knee to stack over the left knee with your left leg out, just in a half version of Gomukhasana. And that might look more like this, and that's fine. Sitting up on something will help though. So moving your flesh out of the way, your left leg is straight, your right knee is bent, and you're bringing the heel of your right foot closer to the left hip. Yeah. And then from here, tent the fingertips, lift the head, broaden through the chest, and lean forward any amount. Yeah. And this could also be a nice place for blocks to go underneath your hands. I'm actually going to grab them because I would like that. Three breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, look forward, walk the hands back to sit up. And then either take it into full Gomukhasana, bringing your left heel towards your right butt, stacking your right knee on top of your left. From the front, that's this. Or if this is too wound up and too tight for you and it's not allowing you to sit in it, you can untie it and bring your shins on top of each other instead. And this still might be way too much, so then you would really let it loose and drop one foot so that your right shin is crossed in front and you're just sitting cross-legged. So you're either sitting cross-legged, right shin in front, sitting with your right shin stacked exactly over the left shin so that the ankle of your right foot is on the left knee, the right knee fits into the left ankle. Or Gomukhasana, right knee on top. And then you can either stay upright, this is already maybe a lot for your hips, you can stay here, or again, lean forward any amount. Three more. One more inhale. Exhale, look forward, walk your hands back, sit up. Lean back, and then unwind your legs so that your feet can come together and your knees come apart for Baddha Konasana. Sit yourself upright again if you're sitting on something. Hands to your ankles, pull the ankles in, prop your chest up, and then fold. Maybe you're just leaning a little bit. Maybe you come all the way down to your elbows. Maybe you use your props and put something underneath your forehead so that the weight of your head can be heavy on something. What you're doing might look a lot different than what I'm doing, but we're all gaining the same from it. Someone who can fit their head and their feet and almost flatten their body to the ground is probably feeling the stretch and getting the benefits of it as much as somebody who's just upright and hinging, because that's where they're at. It's not about trying to create and mimic somebody else. It's about making it right in your own self. Three breaths. One more. Slowly lifting your head. Come upright. Extend your two legs out in front of you and shake it out. Keeping your right leg out, bend your left knee, hugging the shin in, propping the chest up, sit tall. And then take half Gomukhasana. Left knee is now coming towards to be on top of the right knee. Your left heel is coming to the outside of your right hip. If your knee is up higher than mine, that's fine. Hands tented, lift the chest, and lean forward any amount. Noticing if you're really just leaning onto your right side, try to bring the weight into your left butt as well. Three breaths. One more inhale. Look forward, exhale, walk your hands back. And then either bending the right knee to stack knees for Gomukhasana, both heels to the outside of either hip, or untie it, bringing your left shin on top, be meticulous. It fits like a ball in a mitt. The bone of your ankle fits into that little hole ridge of your knee, and then vice versa, the knee fits into the ankle there. Or drop your left foot in front and you're cross-legged. From there, wherever you're at, tent the fingertips wide, sit tall, and then lean any amount. And again, it's just the feet aiming to be where they want to be. They might be a little wider. Mine are. I'm trying to bring the weight into my left hip as much as my right. Only leaning as far as where I feel supported. Not just collapsing or rounding, but leading from the heart, leading from the center of the chest. 3 breaths. One more inhale. Exhale, looking forward. Walk your hands back, sit up nice and tall. And then lean back and extend your legs out in front of you right away, shaking it out. Scoot your seat forward. If you were up on a blanket, move that out of the way. Feet down, knees bent, reach your arms up, palms up. Lowering down to the ground, using this last little bit of activation in your core. Slowly lower, like you're trying to glue your feet, your whole foot into the mat. Rolling down to your tailbone. All the way, slow, 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 slow. Try to stop right before your ribs drop, and then go all the way. Lift the arms up over your head. Lift your hips up as high as your knees. Take one breath in. And then exhale, lowering your hips and your arms and your entire spine down to the ground. Shavasana. I'll offer Supta Baddha Konasana with the knees supported. So you can bring feet together, knees wide, but put something underneath you this time. Or if you would rather extend the legs long, you can. You can also put blocks or blankets under your knees with the legs straight. Arms down by your sides, palms facing up, eyes shut. Letting your body just float here on this island of your mat. Breathing in, breathing out. Before moving anything at all, start to take in with your senses, your space. Take in smells, sounds. Take in the taste of your own mouth. Begin a few deeper breaths. And then rocking your head side to side, extending your legs out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Take one more stretch, arms up over your head, toes point forward. And then gather your knees into your chest. Just for a quick twist, let them fall to the left, arms over to the right. Take a breath in. Breath out. And then let the knees drop over to the right. Gaze and go to the left. For an inhale. And exhale. And then lowering into a fetal position on your right side. Let the weight of your left side just drop into your right. Use your left palm to push yourself up into a seat, keeping your eyes hazy or closed. Bring your left hand to your heart, your right hand to your belly, feeling that connection one last time, and open your mouth to exhale completely. Seal your lips and inhale from the belly, up wide to the ribs, up tall to the collarbones. Hold your breath. Quick sip of air. 2 more. 1 for good luck. Open up, exhale, let it go. Hands touch your third eye, slightly bowing your forehead down into whatever this practice holds for you. Namaste.